Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie Marcus again. I want to speak to you on abuse and basic human rights. My official title is Spokesman and Advocate of Basic Human Rights for All People. Now, that's a title I gave to myself. I gave it to myself because I looked throughout the land, throughout this nation, for basic human rights. And I found all kinds of human rights, basic human rights. For all people? No. So I don't work for the government. I don't work for the private sector. I work as an instrument from the spiritual realm, basic human rights. And I say to all of you, basic human rights are those inalienable rights. They are those rights that come because of your makeup by the maker. Basic human rights. They have to do with life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Now that just came over some of the founding fathers, but it also represents the kingdom of God. And so I want to say that to America, you have no right going to China, going to Russia, going anywhere, talking about human rights violations. You have no authority, you have no right, you have no decency talking to anybody anywhere across this world about basic human rights until the United States citizens are experiencing the same basic human rights you're talking about Chinese deserve. You're talking about Russians deserve. You're talking about Iranians deserve. You're just talking about a bunch of junk because it means nothing. You seem like a phony chicken walking out there talking about basic human rights. In the United Nations, if you're going to talk about basic human rights, you got to start right here in the United States. You are located where? In New York City, New York, the United States of America, and you're going around other parts of the world talking about human rights, right here where your home is, violating as many human rights as can be numbered. So I say to the United Nations, I say to the Council of Foreign Relations, I say to the powers that be, you have no authority whatsoever to speak to anyone about basic human rights. Now, what are basic human rights? I just told you, but some of you might need to know. Things that relate to food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, and careers of choice. Everybody got that right. Everybody got that right. A right to work, a right to be educated, a right to have a place to live, a right to have a job, and a right to enjoy it and benefit from it. If you can't do that for every American, United States of American government, shut up. And when you can do that for every American, then you got the right and the authority to speak to anybody in the world. But until then, be quiet.